done by Alejandro Jodorowsky. I remember who that guy blew up the whole the budget just on pre-production on this. What are you doing?
Huh?
What was that?
Oh, nothing. I was just using my bucket. So I grabbed my Paul hair so we can talk about Dune Part 2. Hair by Paul, body by Baron Vladimir Harkonnen.
You got the floaty thingy?
Paul Atreides unites with Chani and the Fremen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. I want to go back a little bit. What did you think about the first one?
I really liked it a lot.
Okay. I thought it was just okay.
It was slow,
Yes.
but I liked it.
I haven't seen it since. I thought it was okay. I liked a lot of bits and pieces of it.
Mhm.
Those same bits and pieces were kind of missing over here. And it's only one thing. And it's just like a nerdy thing. It's the shields. I love the shields when they get hit.
Simon.
And you can, those barely show up here.
Well, they kind of barely show up because the Fremen don't have the technology to do that.
But I understood this is technically like the granddaddy of Star Wars, right?
This is the granddaddy of almost all science fiction.
I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of this movie. I just thought it was going to be some cool visuals.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, tan. The sequel knocks out the first one out of the park, in my opinion.
This is just one big ass movie to the point where the first one is just setup, and this one is the payoff of everything we saw in the first movie. So I do share that sentiment.
It does put a nice bow on it.
Well,
on this story, because
Yep.
Dune Part Uno and Dune Part Dos culminate the whole story of the original movie and the first book, right?
mm-hmm.
But it does set up stuff for the future. It does set up a Dune Part Trace,
Yeah.
which covers the second book and more other stuff. How many books you said there were?
Written by Frank Herbert, 6.
Damn. Okay. I don't know if I want to watch 12 Dune movies though.
And those are Bible sized.
Yeah, and because then you said he starts to get crazier and crazier and crazier. So hopefully we can reel it in. And I don't know, like, where do you stop then in the second book?
I don't even know. Way.
Because Timothy gonna grow, and he's like, but I guess the character also grows in the show, in the movie.
I mean, yeah, in this movie he's supposed to be 15.
But visually, this is a movie that if you have the opportunity to experience in IMAX, I think this would one will pick. There are so many beautiful shots throughout the whole movie. The vibrant colors and just the way everything is shot is great.
Denis Villeneuve said that he's more of a visual guy than a script guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted something on Twitter along those lines. And he kind of caught a little bit of flack, but I do get it. To me, visually, it's one of the best movies I've seen. I buy almost all the CGI.
Almost, I bought everything. Like, I even thought that little mouse thing was real.
I kind of saw the uncanny valley of the mouse. It was very weird. That little mouse was weird, but that was nothing compared to everything else, and I bought everything else.
Because I'm sure that he blended a lot of shots with practical effects and all that other stuff. And I mean, I know that the giant spacecraft isn't real. Now where everything is CGI and it's easy to tell it's CGI, I bought it like this was a whole real ass thing, you know? And then it helps that the sets are so dope too.
I mean, almost all the movie was in a desert.
Right, but then there would be shots inside of certain buildings and certain things, and it's the way all that is designed is great.
It blew me away. When we were in, I do not remember what the Harkonnens' homeworld was named, but the architecture there was just insane.
Yeah.
And the design was very, very distinct to the point where in the first movie you see the technology of the Atreides family and it's clunky, squared and all that. And when you get to the Harkonnens' technology, it's very round, very organic, very like insect-like.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the distinct features of each of those pieces of technology and the buildings. Oh my God. I was blown away.
See, that's because you have an architecture brain. I'm just like, oh, this pretty place is black and white. There is a lot of like religion, Messiah type talk throughout the whole film as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
It feels really religious. It's kind of funny that there's a bunch of crazy names. Like you got Chani, you got Gurney, you got Stilgar, you got Frey Rotha, Rabban, and then you got Paul.
Well, you had Duncan in the first one.
Yeah, Duncan, his mama's name is Jessica, but it's like Paul. The big savior's named Paul. But them changing his name is a whole deal in the story. And he's trying to learn the ways of the Fremen and all this other stuff. So there is, in my opinion, because this is a 2 hour and 45 minute long movie, there is a big chunk of a lot of blah, blah, blah in the middle. But everything is so pretty that it's not really boring. It's just a lot of like Game of Thrones talk of like big ass words that my stupid little brain can't comprehend sometimes.
Well, it is a Game of Thrones, and it is all warranted. It does feel slow at the beginning, but I would say like a third into the movie, it starts picking up, and just never stops until the end.
The whole third act is like you're on a roller coaster for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But leading up to there, there's a whole lot of lore, and there's also, oddly enough, there's like a couple parts that felt they skipped. You know?
Mm-hmm. Like what?
When they're like go in the desert and come back, they just like fast forward that. That was a little weird. I thought we were going to see him in the desert struggling, and I'm kind of thankful because it's like they told us that he made it without showing it us, because it would have been boring another 15 minutes of him just like struggling in the desert, even though it's all beautiful and it'll probably look amazing. But there was a lot of stuff like that just like they skip it. So it is a little weird in a movie that's this long for them to be doing that. You would expect them to show you everything. I don't know how rich the lore or how much stuff in the book there is to try to cram. This is the second part, so I don't know how much of the book they were trying to cram.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is left out.
From the first book?
Yeah. Yeah, for example, telling us what the hell the spice really is. They just say it's a very important resource.
Yeah, it's the thing that basically makes the universe go.
Yeah, he who controls the spice controls the universe. That's the whole the like the famous line from Dune.
Yeah,
but they left the whole navigator side. When you take too much spice, you start to evolve to the point where you become a navigator, or what is known as that thing, where you just transcend humanity. And you can bend space and time. And that's what allows them to travel through the galaxy.
It might have been too much, man. It's like this guy's a messiah and then drinking water and waking up. And it's just a lot of... There's just a lot of shit for them to even put that on top of it. I can see why they would cut it out.
But at least tell us what the spice does. What is it?
That's fair. But there's also like a lot of characters you got to get through.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of guys, and they add a few more for this movie, and then some come back, and this guy and that guy. So
no, some come back, and then you get Paul getting like 15,000 names.
Yeah, he gets a bunch of names. That's why I was like, nah, bro, you Paul.
Yeah, I love the name Muad'Dib. I don't know what about it I love.
It sounds good. It sounds cool. I really, really, really love the tech. Like everything that they use to like what would be a simple wheelchair for, fat over here is dope. He's floating. There's like stuff that they do to extract the spice, the guns, like even the machine guns, how those sound. They kind of shoot kind of like almost like shotguns kind of. It's just the tech is very, very intricate and cool and interesting.
I loved that the lasers were kind of accurately depicted as lasers, as where normally in movies you see the laser hit the target and just disappear, and here the laser hit the thing and went through it and melted the whole thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought through everything.
Oh, when the anti-gravity, that where they're just walking and just push a button, you just hear like some clicks and they're just floating.
And that look fluid too, because I bet you they blend real shots with like they do with everything. The acting is great too. I don't think there's a bad performance in the bunch. No one overacted at all. Everybody knocked it out of the park. Everybody played their part perfectly.
And I love that everyone had an arc.
Yeah.
Ferguson's arc, from a caring mother to this crazy witch.
Yeah.
It kind of chilled me to the bone to the fact that I thought that Paul lost his mom.
When something pivotal happens in the movie, her whole demeanor, her whole personality changes.
Yep.
But there's a reason for that. Same with him.
I think this is something I do praise Timothy for. The whole time he doesn't want to be the Messiah.
Yeah.
Then the step happens, and he as a person, his poise, his walk, his demeanor, everything just flips, and it feels like a completely different person.
And he's like embracing it almost too much, where he's like, bro, like, what happened to the guy that was just telling us 2 seconds ago what happened? But there's a reason for why he's acting that way.
The importance of what happens or what makes him do that turn is what keeps me grounded into believing every minute of it.
And it's because of that turn that there's like, the only thing I don't like is Zendaya's reaction.
That bitch.
To that turn, you know? Mm-hmm. She's the only one that was kind of like, she was almost like too stubborn for the movie's sake. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like they wanted to create to create a rift between those two. They wanted to split them up, but the way they did it felt a little forced, in my opinion. She just betrays herself. She tells them something, and then she goes against that. How she's acting to some other parts just didn't feel genuine. It didn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. It's a little teeny tiny nitpick out of the rest of how good the movie is.
I don't know how to feel with the end shot.
It was her, right?
Yeah, it was her. And I want a little bit more closure.
Between who?
As a whole. Boom, it stopped. It stops. But that last shot is a lead up to the next movie. I'm not saying I didn't like it. It just felt like a bittersweet taste in my mouth.
Well, it's part 2. There's going to be part 3 left.
But it's not going to be like part 3. It's going to be Dune 2.
Technically.
Yeah.
But it is called part 3, though.
Oh, shit.
It's not going to be called Dune part 2. I don't think it's going to be called Dune 2. It may be. I don't know. Who knows? I just saw a post where they're saying that the composer's already working on the music for Dune part 3. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. They could do anything what they want with the title. Mm-hmm. Maybe they felt the need to put Zendaya as the last frame since she was only in the first movie for 7 minutes. So maybe they felt compelled to do that. The music is fantastic. Once again, speaking about the music, it guides you perfectly, which is what movie score's job technically is. But I think by far, other than the visuals and the beautiful colors, I think my favorite part of the movie is the fighting. The fighting is fantastic.
I missed those long shots, those wide takes.
It just looks violent too. It looks great, especially something we've been missing from especially superhero movies lately is a satisfying last boss fight, right?
Oh yeah.
We haven't had very good final boss fights in a while. And this one is like, okay, this is your boss fight, let's go. And it's great. Like it gives me old school, and I'm calling Gladiator old school, but it has that kind of like good versus evil feel to it. There's drama to it. You're like, oh shit, you know, it's a great back and forth. It's an amazing, I'm calling it boss fight. It's because it's basically what it is.
It's the last guy you fight before the end of the movie.
And it's like, we've been missing that for a long time. Like, they either be whack, they either be doing too much, they do stuff that don't make any sense, or they're simply just not compelling enough for you to give a shit.
Or they're just blue lasers shot in the sky.
Right. They get down and dirty. It's good. You get like, holy shit, stuff happens. It's great.
When the main guy fights, he gets hurt.
Yeah.
And we get that. And I loved it because it makes it all more visceral. Even the comments the bad guy makes.
Yeah, because it's like they've been painting this whole time like this is the baddest, you know, this is the baddest guy in, you know, in Paul. Like he was like, I'm the shit, you know, like once the turn happens, he starts to feel himself. And then it's like, yeah, you might be the shit, but this is one crazy over here. And because again, they showed us why this other crazy is a badass, you know? They took time to flesh him out and let us know, yo, this guy's a crazy he wants it. He wants to fight. And I feel like they had good chemistry between them, Austin Butler and Timothy had, because it was fast, man. It was really, really fast, and it was clean.
And it did not feel choreographed.
It just felt natural to them because of that chemistry that I mentioned.
My personal MVP?
Oh, that Austin Butler was the MVP?
Yeah. A psychotic bastard.
Yeah. There's just so many characters. I don't know if I have a favorite one. I think they all work pretty well.
When he spoke, I thought Stellan Skarsgård was the one speaking the first time.
Yeah, they all have like the same growly accent thingy.
Except Batista.
Yeah. Bardem was really good too. He was like the comedic relief, oddly enough. Coming from the first movie to this one, I wasn't expecting him to be like the funny one, but it worked out great.
I love it. I love that every time Paul said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Oh, the humility." Yeah. Oh my God.
He kept justifying why he's the Messiah.
Like it was written. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like your tia that everything is religious, right? She starts to see Jesus and some toast. You're like, oh, it was that same energy. My dad was like, I remember playing a board game, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is like
your father?
Yeah, from the first movie.
Oh shit. Okay.
He's trying to make me look up a 1980s board game that he was playing or some sort of card game or something. He's like, yeah, I remember the game. He kept saying that. Hey, if you're like my papa's age, what do you thought of Dune Part Duh? We liked it. I think by far it's the best movie of the year. We're only in March, but I think it's gonna hold on strong.
Yep.
But let us know your thoughts on everything Dune down in the comments. We like talking to you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to always and forever. You do.
Bye.
Where's my bucket?
Oh my God.